Welcome everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you today. My name is Karen and I will be your facilitator today. Looking forward to diving into March with you. I didn't get to participate in any of the socials last month, so if you were brand new in the next month or so, my name is Karen. I live right outside San Francisco, but I'm originally a Texan, and in the chat, I have Maya supporting me. So she's great, like tech question kind of person too. So I'm glad and yes, Michelle, thank you. The Pilates studio is going very well, but it has been a heck of a month. You'll see when I go through my reflections with you guys. I'm going to give you a little heads up. We had a little bit of issues. So at any point, if my PowerPoint quits sharing or the music doesn't work, Maya has everything preloaded and we'll do a quick shift and switch. So I'll still be presenting, but she's controlling all of that. So hopefully we don't need to do that. But yeah, I'm here, I'm ready, and I'm so excited about March. I think this is a really good one. I was supposed to actually host a couple last month and things just kept coming up. So those of you who are brand new, I'm so glad that you are here. A couple of housekeeping, make sure that your chat is set to everyone. This is the cameras off event. I'm the only one who has to be on screen. Maya didn't even pop on this time. So you do not have to worry about it. You can be in your pajamas with your fuzzy slippers on and a sheet mask on and nobody cares. Now you want to absolutely make sure you're set to everyone if you want everyone to respond. If you just want Maya or myself, like you need some tech support or you have a question that doesn't need to go to the larger audience, host and panelist is the correct setting for that. And you're going to see that in the chat box, and there's a little image of it in the bottom left-hand side. So I'm so excited to dive in. So let's go ahead and do it. And this is when I get scared that the screen share is going to mess up. So a little bit of community guidelines. Be kind and courteous to yourself and others. That means facilitators, people in the audience, but even more important, yourself. Sometimes when we do this journaling, it can get rather deep. When that happens, it is absolutely okay for you to set the journal to the side and color and listen to the music. I want you to have that permission now. If anything doesn't feel right to you at that moment for this session or any session that you join us on. No promotions or spam. We are so proud of your accomplishments and want to be able to celebrate them with you. But we do not want to promote the book that you had during this time period. It's not the right forum for that. Respect everyone's privacy. Sometimes we do see Silk and Saunders people in the wild. I know Malika met someone in a coffee shop in San Francisco when they were both working on their journal. If something like that ever happens, whatever is said in this is confidential. We want to keep it here. It's like Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Obviously, no hate speech or bullying to yourself or to anyone else. If you are brand new, this is a really popular one, is asking what kind of pens you use or the stickers. Don't mind answering a couple, but we don't want it to take over the chat and take away from the journaling. That is a perfect place for you to post that in Sonder Club. Any issues that you have with delivery or maybe a missing page in your journal, things like that, please redirect those to hello@silkandsonder.com for customer care. Maya and I unfortunately do not work for headquarters, so we will not be able to look into your account in any way, shape, or form, but they are a Monday through Friday team, so they are 9 to 5. So if they don't get back to you over a weekend, they'll get back to you later in that week. And then finally, Sonder Socials are a tool to help elevate your emotional health through the power of community. But as always, you are responsible for your own emotions, well-being, and decisions. There will never be any hard feelings if something doesn't work for you, that you are like, this doesn't feel right to me today. It's okay for you to log off. You are your main priority and concern. Okay, I feel like I missed a lot in the chat. It looks like all kinds of things are going on, but I'll keep going. Oh, also, if this is your very first monthly social, this social lasts for a full 90 minutes or yeah, 90 minutes. So it goes 15 minutes longer than our others. If you need to log off early, that's absolutely fine. So this is I think this is the very first monthly social for this one. And we are talking about this theme this month of momentum. I am really intrigued on, 75 minutes. Thank you, Maya. I can't do math. I broke out in a rash on my face, and so I've had to take antihistamine. So apparently mental math is not going to be my thing today. Two Benadryl and a Zyrtec, and I'm still standing. So here we go. I'm really going to be interested in where we take momentum this month. I mean, with yourself and with myself. Spring, it's starting to bloom. We are approaching a seasons change. Winter is kind of dormant, and a lot of times our mental state will match the seasons. And so maybe we lay lower and take more self-care and we, make the hot tea and read the books, but spring is that rebirth. And so I feel like momentum is just the perfect segue going from February into March. Meha's letter is here. It is an awesome way to understand what her ideas for momentum were. I encourage you, if you haven't already, to take a moment to read through it, highlight anything that sticks out to you. It's going to be, this kind of gives us a little insight into her mind of what she was thinking when she created these themes. Our agenda tonight, we're going to have an opening activity. If you are brand new, our opening activity is done only in the social. It will not be in your journal. It can be done on a notes page in your journal, those grid pages, but it can be done on a sticky note, another sheet of paper, wherever that makes sense to you, a repurposed area that maybe you're not using. We're going to go over our February reflections, look at our March intentions, and we'll set up our mood tracker and our habit tracker. I need this theme right now too, friends. And I'm glad, Chris, that the socials are a key part to be able to hold you accountable, because I think there's a lot of us that are that way, including myself. I need to get myself back on my Sunday schedule. Our opening activity is a fan favorite. These get posted so much in Sonder Club. It is an acrostic poem. So acrostic poem is one of the poems where we write a word down the side of the page, and then we either find words or phrases that start with it to be able to create it. And I'll show you some examples. I used to teach this when I was a first grade teacher. So you can flip to a blank page, a scratch pad, your thoughts journal, wherever it is that works for you. What are some things that come to mind when you think of the word momentum? Don't second guess yourself, just write them down. Try to come up with at least 8 words or phrases that describe confidence. Now see how you can work it into a poem where the first letter of each line is a letter from the word momentum. You can do sentences, one word, sets of words for each line, etc. I mean, it could be a song lyric, it could be a, it could be anything. What's the word I'm looking for? A quote there. However it is, there's no right or wrong way to do this. So I'm going to put the screen back up in a few minutes, but this is how you want to set up your page wherever it is that you're doing it. So we spelled momentum down the side, and then those sentences or phrases we're going to be writing on the right side. Oh, oops, forgot to update it, the confidence. That's okay. I didn't follow that anyway, so we're good. Here are some beautiful thoughts to get us going of some professional poetry. Maybe I am weak or not as quick, but my love for the art grows with each passing time. No matter how I fall, try to get up, unleash the courage within me and trust with my heart. Moving forward, gaining pace, overcoming inertia's hold. Momentum builds, a steady chase. Each step propels the story told. No stopping now, the flow takes flight towards dreams that shimmer bright until the finish line is crossed, momentum never to be lost. Whew, I love that poem. I love reading poetry aloud, if you couldn't tell. I miss being a school teacher sometimes. I'm going to show my example. Mine is very, very primitive. It looks like what I would have written when I was teaching first grade. I went ahead and I put my momentum down the side, and this is what I wrote. For me to be able to have momentum, that was the mindset that I was in. I need to have monthly check-ins with myself. I need to be honest and check in with the month, kind of like we're going to do today, looking at February. I need to organize closets and drawers. When you are not able to pull out what you want when you need it, it causes you to pull out a bunch of stuff, and the momentum is lost because you have a big pile on the floor of clothes that you're going to have to re-hang up or refold. So organization, that includes my desk, that includes, getting ready in the morning, making sure I have those products available and ready. Music is so important to set the mood for me. It may not be for you, but I really can enjoy cooking a dinner 10 times more if I have some mood music playing. So that helps me bring that momentum to my life, making sure I'm picking that soundtrack to kind of support me. Emit confidence. Now that's not an easy one. And I know not all of us are definitely, gave a little thumbs down there. Not all of us have confidence that comes easy. So I don't consider it fake it till you make it. I just consider it my future self has practiced it a lot. And so I'm just pretending to be my future self. And that's what I'm going to go with. Nap when needed. This one, those of you, I know some of you have chronic pain like myself. Sometimes we need to listen to our bodies and we need to take that 20-minute nap to be able to keep the momentum going for the rest of the day or for the rest of the month, listening to the body. Sometimes it's okay to skip that workout. Trust that you don't need to know how. So that when I set the goals, I don't need to know how I get there. I just start, and that it will unfold to me as I do further research or I talk to people or I find someone who specializes in that area to help me. Unbreakable spirit. Life is going to get us down. It's going to knock us down over and over again. February has definitely knocked me down a few times, but we got to be unbreakable. And then moving forward, enjoy the leisurely hustle so that, I balance work and life. And I know for a lot of us that is a hard thing and it's not perfect. And in some seasons, you're a little more one way than another. Sometimes it's more work, sometimes it's more leisure. In the end, usually it all works out. I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to put that momentum structure up for you, and I will play some music and give you some time to work on your acrostic poem. These are absolutely beautiful poetry, so much more than what I taught in first grade, obviously. I feel like we could have our own published book with these, with some of the themes. So fun. If you didn't finish it, that's okay. You don't have to finish everything in the hour and 15 minutes that we have together. You never know when the perfect thing just pops into your mind when you are in the shower and you just run and write it down real fast. So it's okay. Cut yourself some slack if you got stuck with it. For me, these are not easy. This one, for some reason, worked out a little easier for me than usual, which I was very appreciative of. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do what you came here for. We're going to do our monthly planner. So grab your planner, make sure you have something to write with. If you like your stickers or your washi tape and your markers, this is a great time to be able to grab it while I'm going over our first little section. The very first thing that we do is we reflect on the month before, seeing what went well, what things we want to change, what kinds of things we want to keep doing. So we look at our wins, our challenges, our favorite moments. What do I want to start, stop, and continue? So this is going to be on page 8. I'm going to break this down into some smaller chunks for you with this little vision here. So wins are something that you did, something that made you smile, it made you happy, an accomplishment. It could be as simple as that I bought myself some red Gerber daisies at Trader Joe's when I saw them. That could be it. That could be my win. Sometimes in this month, that may be my win. I'm not going to lie. Challenge is something that didn't go right, something out of your control, stumbling block, or frustration. I think that one is pretty, I think all of us sometimes are able to come up with those a lot easier than we look at those February wins. Favorite moments. These could be some of your rosebud thorns from the weekly spread last month. Your phone. I look to see what I accomplished during the month through my photos, or maybe use your Google Calendar. That can be a nice one to help you think about what happened during that time period. The start are things that are not being done, but you want to do, things that are things to begin doing to get better results, things worth trying or experimenting with for better results. And I want you to know, just because you start it doesn't mean you have to finish it in the month. This is a place to experiment. Sometimes the experiments just aren't what you want them to be, and you just cut your losses and move on. Stop. Things that are not working or helping, things that impede or not practical, things that are not delivering the desired results, things you dislike, things that no longer serve you. Continue. Things that are working well, things you want to keep, things to continue to see if they are worthwhile, things you like or need. I'm going to share a couple examples. These are literally February last year, February this year. So last year, my February wins, I signed up for health coaching. I completed my Pilates comprehensive certification. I did a Hill 88 hike, and I worked with a life coach. I challenges, meditation, daily rituals, and 2-day migraine. And then I list some of the things that are really happy for me and really awesome. Well, this year, February wins. I opened my studio November 13th, and we're officially making a profit, which is great. Time with Claude, that's my husband's uncle. He came into town from Rhode Island. We always have a great time. And I did a really fun journaling, Pilates, face mask, hybrid, super fun meal prep event at my studio. We made some quinoa pudding, we made some face masks, we journaled, we stretched, we did all the things. So I was happy with that. But you can see on this one, it was a lot harder for me to come up with 3 than it was for last year. This has not been my best month. I was telling Maya that my month started with, I ruined my computer. I hit somebody's car in the Trader Joe's parking lot, got sick, ended up going to the ER twice for an allergic reaction. We don't know what it was, including going in an ambulance out of my studio, having to have a retired nurse administer an epi and then another en route. And it was a hard month. Some months are like that, right? So for my February challenges, migraine city, lots and lots of migraines, allergic reaction, like I mentioned, and my husband's having some of his own little things that he's having to work through as well. Favorite moments, nights out with Nicole. Both of our husbands were out. We went to a French restaurant for dinner. I spent a night at the hotel. We're having work done at my house and I couldn't take it anymore. It was driving me nuts. So I checked myself out for a day. I made some really cute little heart-shaped chocolates for everyone in my studio. Super healthy and super yummy. And then I was actually in the newspaper, the local newspaper, for participating in Chinese New Year's for the city of San Rafael. So there, that is mine. I'm going to want to start a morning routine. I've not been good about this since I opened the studio. My hours are all over the place. And I need to say this for you as well as me, that when we say a morning routine, it doesn't have to be when you first wake up. It can be any time during the day that you want to complete the journal. So sometimes it might be 5 a.m. for me. Sometimes it might be 9 a.m. for me. Doesn't matter. It's okay. Um, Stop being scared and acting out. I have issues with this. I'm not gonna lie. When my husband doesn't feel well, it really affects me. And then things I want to continue is definitely working out. So that is my version. I'm going to bring it back. And I know sometimes it's really hard to find those wins. It was really hard for me to find the wins this month too, friends. I feel like I was in bed 90% of the month with migraines or sickness, etc. So sometimes those small things are more important than we thought. I'm going to play some beautiful music, go off camera, and give you some time. We'd love to know what you are stopping, or continuing, or what some of your wins, or some of the things that didn't go well for you this month. Let us support you in that too. Some months are like that. Welcome back. Those of you who are mourning a loss of a husband or a sister or anyone, know that we are holding space for you and we're here to lift you up and support you through these hard times. And those of you who are loving on those grandbabies and you are loving your kid because they feel confident in their body, or you're having awesome date nights, we're grateful for that you shared those things and we want to celebrate those things too. That yin and the yang of life, isn't it hard? I just knew I was going such a good streak. I was gonna have a little bit of a bump in the road. It's just life. We're gonna move on to our March intentions. If you were brand new here, know that the March intentions are pre-printed on there for you with these categories. And I'll go through these categories: spiritual health, personal life, physical health, key relationships, money management, professional goals. Just because it's printed in the journal does not mean you have to use it as is. Let's say that your professional goal is because you're homeschooling kids right now, or you're retired and you're doing volunteer work, or hey, you're retired and for you, the thing that's important in your life right now is getting ready for that spring garden. Feel free to cross anything out, put a new title on it, put a big sticker over it, some washi tape, put a quote in the middle of it so you don't have to look at it if you don't have anything else that you want to put in there. This is your journal. There's no right or wrong way to be able to do this. Looking at some tips and tricks, We can use the lens of momentum to set our intentions. We can focus on one area, such as self love, self talk, use the name of a song or a tune that inspires you. How do you want to feel this month in each area? Use stickers, colors, images for each section. One thing you want to let go of, one thing you want to start doing. It's a way to kind of frame it. I'm going to show you a plethora of examples on these. And when you're working, I'll scroll through them so that you have an opportunity to catch screenshots if you want. I do encourage, if you are new, I should have mentioned this at the beginning. If you find something that you absolutely love, screenshot it so you can refer back to it. It just is a, lifesaver. So here's me last year on the beautiful colored side, and on this year it's just that plain writing. So last year, my spiritual health, I wanted to make sure that I was getting outdoors and hiking, and I was doing a journaling challenge through Liberate. I didn't know if we were going to head to Brazil or not. We ended up actually doing that. My goal was to do Pilates 5 times a week and run 2 times a week. Let me tell you, that running still hasn't happened yet. Key relationships, not let work's bad moods kill my vibe. Well, I solved that by opening my own studio. No bad vibes there. People say it too. No bad vibes. Money management, no clothing or books besides book club, and then pass the national Pilates exam. So I did that. I accomplished that. So this time I want to be able to get into nature. And I joined a gym, which I know may sound weird to you that I own a Pilates studio, but I joined a gym and I have a personal trainer, and I'm working on using heavier weights and more athletic movements like RDLs and such that I'm able to incorporate in my athletic Pilates classes. So they have the red light room with the infrared sauna as well as infrared, and they call it the Zen Den. So going in there and listening to maybe a calm meditation a couple of times a week. Personal life, make some effort to get people together outside of the studio. So I've been creating this amazing group of women, and we have a book club, and on Friday we do a class, and then we pop some bubbles, non-alcoholic, alcoholic, they both go, whatever you need, whatever you want. And we just spend about 30 minutes catching up with each other. So I really need to get out of the studio to socialize a little bit. Physical health, weights 3 times a week, a personal Pilates private. I still take privates with an expert. She helps write the national exam, so I go with her. Make sure that I do my steps. I wear the Aura ring. I know this isn't the right finger, but a client gave it to me. I wasn't going to spend $400 on it, but I love it. And it recommends how many steps to have. Like last night, I didn't sleep very well. And so it recommended 700 instead of, not 700, 7,000 versus 10,000. So I'm going to go by my Aura ring instead of always hitting 10,000 steps, because I want to respect my body. If it's not really well recovered, I need to fix that. And then also do 2 independent Pilates workouts a week. Now, some weeks are going to be better than others. I know this, but those are my goals. Relationships, and make this time, this housebound time, the best I can to be able to make maybe some beautiful meals together and we watch some good movies, etc. Continue money management, continue with meal prep. I've been doing pretty decent on that. And professional goals, make 23,000 this month. I looked at our page and we were able to bring in 21 so far this month. So we're really happy. We're not paying ourselves salaries yet. So that's why there's so much. There's only the 2 of us and we're working for free, but still money's coming in. And then I also want to spend some time with my Udemy courses. I have some that I want to finish up. If you are unfamiliar with it, don't buy them full price. They run sales all the time and you get a really good deal, and they're super fun. Anything you want to learn, they have. So that's mine. Here's some other examples of mine. You can see I've gone through all of these crazy changes. One time I used all these beautiful pictures and it was the worst month ever. So then I went back to basics and I used phrases, and that worked really well for me. And then I wanted to get a little crazy again after a couple of months, and I added phrases and I added quotes. And then I went more back to very, very minimal in October of last year. So you can see mine doesn't always look the same. It depends on what's going on, how much time and effort do I have. Sometimes I just fill out the page. Sometimes I get crafty with it because I have the time and it's fun. Here's one of Bailey's where she did cute photos for a million years ago. And this one, July Intentions, this is my very first Silk and Saunders one that I did and presented. And you can see I just enjoyed taking the time to make a collage. Over here's another one of mine, very to the point. Spiritual health, fresh flowers, calm app, walking to work. Hey, sometimes we got to get simple with it. Here's someone who used a lot of stickers. Here's people who used words and they made it very pretty. Some people like to go more and less of. I put that one in twice. Sorry, I thought I caught that. And here is, I already went through my March intentions, but there it is. And then here is what you are going to be working on for the next few minutes. Remember, all of these can be interpreted however it is that you want to interpret it. Spiritual to some of us may mean Christianity. Some of us may be a little more pagan. Some of us may be a little more, I want to be with my higher power, more yoga like, etc. There's no right or wrong way to interpret this. And remember, if a category doesn't work for you and you have another category that works great, change it. And if it's just bugging you and there's nothing else, put a big old sticker over it. It's fine. You don't have to fill out everything to have a good, successful journal. I'll be back and see you in a few minutes and catch up on the chat that I've been missing while you guys were working. Welcome back, friends. I'm going to move us through the new sections, but if at any point you need to revisit during that time one of the previous ones, feel free to do that. We are going to dive into our mood and habit trackers. These are ones that you either ultimately love or you hate. There's not a lot of in between on this. But I'm going to show you some repurposing ideas that may spark an idea of like, oh, yeah, maybe I do want to try that out. And you know what? I'm going to give you permission right now. If you are overwhelmed and this is your very first month, or maybe it's your 10th month or third year, but life is really hard right now, it is okay to leave some pages blank. It's okay not to track habits that month, or maybe you track one habit. So just, I know it can be overwhelming for newbies, and sometimes it feels overwhelming to me too. Pick and choose what you think is going to work for you during this time. As you progress, you can keep adding more. And Maya's saying that she doesn't use her trackers that often either. For me, a lot of those habits have become embedded in me, like walking every day, Pilates, some of these habits are already established. I don't write them down anymore because they're already internalized. But I still am struggling to be able to add some of those other new habits that I want to start. So, I guess I need to start adding those and taking maybe one at a time and adding them up. Okay, I like this. I'm changing the mood tracker to a book tracker. Yes, I love that. So, our mood tracker, understand trends and how we are feeling, notice and begin to make shifts, bring tools into what works with the positive mood shows up for us. So, that's what the mood tracker is supposed to do. If you are not new here, sorry you have to hear my story again, but I'm going to share it anyway because I think it's pretty powerful. I became a facilitator. We all became facilitators during COVID, like right when COVID was, well, it was a couple of months into COVID. It was about April, I think. And um, I had started my Pilates certification, but I was still a children's director at a country club. All the time, even if I was working 12 hours a day that I was teaching Pilates, I realized that every day that month, my heart was really, really happy. And then when I had to go back to my normal job, 40 hours a week, my mood dropped tremendously. And I knew that it was time for me to make a change. And that's when I made a career shift. So, not everyone's going to have that big of a shift. I'm like, oh, I'm leaving this job. I'm leaving the kids behind. I've worked with them since I was 16 and move into something else. But some of you might. Some of it may be just like, hey, I didn't have coffee this morning and I felt great. Or my acid reflux was better this day. Or maybe I know that I got off my devices at 8 p.m. last night and my sleep was the best it ever has. Looking at those little habits that we're trying to establish and seeing how are they affecting our mood and how can we do more of it to keep trending our mood up. So that's kind of why we do it. Also, I will say if you have anybody in the medical field that you were seeing, especially therapists, they love seeing this. It could be for a mood tracker, or for me this month, I'm tracking my anxiety again. So if I was going to see a therapist, I could show them like on these days, I was, baseline on these days, I was really high, and that gives them really good information as long as I can correlate what was happening with it. So just a little shot out there if you are seeing like a migraine tracker too. If you have a migraine specialist, them seeing when you had migraines, if you repurposed, super helpful. So here's some examples of our mood trackers. You can tell we have two different types depending on the month. Some of them are hexagon, some of them are circular. It does not matter. They work exactly the same. Don't let the shape mess with your mind. Tips and tricks. If you're going to use the mood tracker as a mood tracker, choose 2 to 3 negative feelings, a neutral 2 to 3 positive feelings. You could focus on momentum all month. You could fill in every emotion that came up that day, or fill in the one emotion that was the strongest. You can use stickers, colored pins, doodles, or pin to create your key. It can be any way, shape, or form. If you're unsure of what, and I will put the slide back up when you were working, if you are unsure what feelings that you have, you may want to visit the nice little wheel. You work from the inside. I'll put that up when it's time. Mood tracker, ways to repurpose. An affirmation tracker. We already said someone's going to be a reading tracker. Anxiety, depression, energy levels. 1 to 6 on feeling a certain way. Like I'm feeling really tired. If you're struggling with fatigue, maybe it's hormones. And you can take that to the doctor and be able to say, these are the things. Here are some beautiful examples of the ways other people have repurposed. We have an activity tracker here, a fitness tracker. One that helps with their small businesses, one that looks at dizziness levels. Here's someone that's using multiple colors with highlighters. Here's someone that are using some Meg B Etsy stickers to be able to say which ones to kind of like make a scatter graph. And here's one that I just absolutely love because it was Harry Potter themed. And if that makes you track your stuff, by all means, please use as many fun stickers and themes as you want. So this month we are in our circle. So those are the ones that you're going to be looking at. So I'm gonna put the feelings wheel on. I'm gonna give it about a minute and a half, and then I'll scroll through those examples again and give you some time to work. Okay, we'll be back in a couple. Hey, I very much enjoyed reading what everybody is saying in the chat and the ways they're repurposing it, social media tracking, the realizations that people shared about how the mood tracker really, like, anxiety was thought it was all the time, but it was just loud. I think that that's absolutely beautiful. And there was one other that I just thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm scrolling up just in case I can find it. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, it was Christy. I'm almost there. I'm almost there because I see mine to her. What a great way to articulate that. For me, I felt like my anxiety was ruling every day, but seeing on the tracker, it was minimally present. It just felt loud. If you don't track it, it's kind of like, oh, today was a bad day. Oh, tomorrow was a bad day because you're like thinking about that 5 minutes when actually that day was pretty good. Like, even though I have a rough February, there are some amazing things that happened in my classes and relationships that were built, all of those types of things. Valerie said that you can't see it, but I see it from here. Share in February, repurpose the mood tracker for the first time in a reflection tracker. I jotted down a little tidbit either from a book or a podcast I was listening to, or a reflection on my day, or work, or daily ritual. I'm going to do it again in March and share March's page in Sonder Club. I love that. How cool. Thank you so much for sharing. You guys are on fire. I feel like you guys are teaching me because I feel like you guys have it so much better together than I did. So we have one last section that we're going to head into. It's our habit tracker. So it can be starting new habits. It can be stop doing habits, like maybe scrolling at 10 o'clock at night on TikTok. I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty. Um, maybe it's continuing doing the habits that are bringing value, like making sure I hit my steps. Tips and tricks. You can use momentum as your focus. That might be a fun one. We haven't had a theme like this before since I've started. You could pick a theme like grounded, calm, joy, delight. You can continue habits from last month. You can find a balance of habits you know you can hold on to and ones that you're trying to be trickier to commit to. And remember, please, please, no, you do not have to fill out every line. Those of you need to go, it's totally fine. You probably didn't realize this one is a little bit of a longer session, and that is absolutely fine. Okay, so let's look at some examples. I love this beautiful mandala on the left-hand side. I think it is stunning. I also like how she colored in the weekends to kind of know if she's doing it weekday or weekends. Looking at this one, for me, this would cause me huge anxiety. I would never get it filled out because I had my journal in my bed or on the kitchen counter or wherever I was working on it last, and I didn't have those color pens right there with me. And so I just would not fill it out. Right, Kate, I love it. And if this is something that motivates you and you enjoy coloring it in, you're just different than I am. There's no right or wrong about it. This, I wish, was what I would love to do, but it's not. It's not going to work for me. But if it works for you, use it. Use it. We're all different. Here are some habits. Looking at, once again, they blocked off the weekends, writing down the weight, text, Bible reading, shower, exercise, medicine, brush teeth, makeup, jewelry, and journal. And the other one that they talked about, some ritual type things that they want to do. This is an area you could do your morning or evening ritual, listing out the steps and checking them off as you go. Okay, it said something that's a great idea. Okay. In January, someone said to use a heart when you miss a habit, to remember to be kind to yourself. And I've been using it ever since. Yes, yes. And Kate says in January, no, it's Jessica. I pick out my colors for the month and I keep those pens and markers separate because you have to have colors. I have one color. I always pick out one that matches, just one. More than that, I get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed pretty easy. I'm a very anxious, high-strung person, if you've not already realized this. So here are some ideas if you are struggling with habits. Maybe it is getting up 15 minutes earlier, increasing your water intake. Amber, I don't think is here tonight, but she recommended a free app called WaterCat that is free and it notifies you on your watch or on your phone when you need to take water intake. So that's a fun way to be able to increase your water besides just having your big Stanley cup. Those things are so expensive. Why are they so expensive? Anyway, I have one, but someone gifted it to me. It's like my Aura ring. Momentum is your free space. A daily affirmation. This could totally be one from the phone that you use from an app, or it could be the one from our Silk and Saunders app. Reading. It could be 5 pages. It could be 50 pages. Doesn't matter. Floss. I need to pick this one back up again. I've been bad a little bit. Eat your veggies. Pick a song of the day. That sounds motivating. Set it for your wake up for the morning, or maybe for your drive or walk into work. Watch the sunset. We are getting where it is, the sunset's coming a little bit later. And so, you can sit outside with a hot cup of tea and enjoy that. Drink your water. Oh, that's kind of the same as increase your water intake. But, I like, me, I like to throw herbs and different things in them. I did one for the studio the other day. It was really good. It was cinnamon and orange. So I just put cinnamon stick and orange. Delicious. Daily ritual may be one of the things that you want to dig into. Maybe it's decluttering, making your bed. For me, making the bed, I know it's such a productivity thing that people love to do. It doesn't work for me. I like to burrito. Each of us have our own duvet. And I have a chihuahua that sleeps with me. So I don't like making up the bed. And the first thing I do into a hotel is kick it all out. So if that doesn't resonate with you, know you're not alone. Go to bed 5 minutes earlier. Take 3 deep breaths. Phone a friend. Dance. Cook a meal at home. Do an act of kindness. Laugh. And if you have other ideas of habits that you are tracking that you maybe have already accomplished or that you're working on, throw them in the chat to inspire others. I'm going to leave the screen up and I'm going to play a little music and let you guys work. right, welcome back as we finish up our social together. Please share your planner. It really means a lot to the facilitators to see what you did, but it also gives us resources to be able to inspire others to find a way to sonder for them because we don't want this to be a one size fits all shop. You got to create it and make it work for yourself. Oh, Stephanie, we're so glad you're here. That's so nice. Oh, Heather, I'm glad that you were here and that we could have so much space and hold that for you. Grace, I failed most days with respect to decluttering happened in February. We all fail. We pick ourselves back up. We have to be resilient. Maybe what was it that made you fail? Was it you didn't have the time, that it was too big a chunks? Identify it and try again. Maybe it's literally the 1 minute rule that everything that you can do in 1 minute. Oh, Michelle, thank you. I would love to see. I can't wait to go back and look. And there are some people who are definitely posting, and we want to be able to see those. And I'll go in probably, you'll probably see me go in tomorrow morning between classes to comment on them. Usually I try to do the night, but not tonight. I'm tired. The antihistamines are getting to me. Please, if you love Silk and Sonder, like you know I love Silk and Sonder, refer a friend, they get $10, you get $10. That's awesome. Upgrade to an annual subscription if you're loving it. You have the opportunity to save $110 a year. If that's something that's in the cards for you, that might be a really good thing to do so that you can use that extra $110 for if it was Maya, maybe yarn. If it was me, maybe face masks, just depending on the person. And then that social survey feedback is important to us. It really helps us figure out the times that work best for people. You know, what days are working best, what it is that you're hoping to be able to see. Like the book club that we did with Gretchen Rubin came out of those comments. So I just love that. And then Maya's going to throw in the YouTube link in the chat. Remember, bookmark it. It is private, but there's over 500 socials there. If you're ever having a really bad day, please know that they are there on demand for you. You can pick your favorite facilitator because I know, you could be the juiciest peach ever, but not everybody loves a peach. So pick the person that you love and go with it for that day. I'm going to throw in the playlist that I was using. It is not one I made. I found it. It's Spring Instrumental on Spotify. So I'll shove that in the chat. And I am going to lead us out. We started talking about sunshine. So it is spring. And I'm going to take us out with Sheryl Crow's Soak Up the Sun.